Hello, welcome to Make Me Good at Golf, a golfing podcast with three mates trying to get good at golf, and we want to take you along for the journey. You will be looking at this, listening to this. Probably if you're listening, probably doesn't really come across. But if you're watching this, we look a bit different because there's a special episode today. Joining me, of course, as always, is Mr. 71, Damien Fleming.
Thank you very much, Peter. I've got a microphone.
You have a microphone in hand. You look good. And a man who his handicap is heading in the right direction, unlike mine. It's Anthony Lehmo Lehman.
Great to be here. Good to be involved.
Special day. But before we get into our very special guests, Lehmo, you have an announcement about what charity work we've been doing?
Well, we say we want to take you along for the ride. And one way we're doing that is offering a round of golf with us at a charity auction. Which I've done. I'm an ambassador for the My Room Children's Cancer Charity. They do incredible work supporting families who are going through a childhood cancer journey. And they had a big gala ball, and I offered lunch with us, plus a round of golf for one person to join the three of us.
Okay, yep.
How much do you think it went for?
I'll go
1.4.
$50.
$50?
1.4 million.
Somewhere in between that.
You're both idiots.
There we are.
Who's hotter? Who's hotter?
$4 grand.
$4,000.
10 grand.
Well, if I had the two of you together, $14,000.
Oh!
Are you serious?
Yes, someone has paid $14,000. And the other one, I have to apologise here, guy, that I didn't tell you about, is I also offered a round of golf with us at my son's primary school trivia night.
And 16,000.
Have a guess how much that went for?
20,000.
$700. But it was the most valuable item on the night.
Won't happen. That will not
Are you going to keep offering rounds of golf with us with that?
I will.
Lehmo is playing the primary school one.
I will check in the future.
You've got to have a limit on it.
Were you pissed when you offered us up as a golf game?
I was in an awkward situation.
Peter, we need to put a minimum on us.
Yeah,
and I'm going, for me, my minimum's $5 grand. What's yours?
Yeah, 10.
Lehmo's $50.
Mate, I'm $50. So,
all right.
Anyway, very happy.
I'm excited about this episode, though,
Yes.
because it's called Make Me Good at Golf. I'm living that. I've gone from 8 to 7, not massive. You've gone from
23.4 to 23.
Peter, you've gone
25 to
26 to 27
yeah, just
to
going
28.
up one. I'm going in the wrong direction. 29.
29.
What are you going to do about it, Windy Pete?
I've been making some noises. We need coaches. We need some coaching. Me, self-coaching has not worked. So you have Stuart Leong out of Metropolitan who's been coaching you.
He's doing well. Sure.
He's doing well. He's got a big job ahead of him to get you down to 3, mind you. But Lehmo on our local course is one of the best public courses in the country. There's no doubt about it. Yarra Bend is an incredible course. We're down there a lot hitting on the range, playing course. So we thought, why not get our coaches at Yarra Bend? There's a man who I actually had lessons with a couple of years ago when I flirted with the idea of getting back into golf. And he made some there's no doubt he made improvements straight away. And he joins us now. His name's Dale Lynch. Welcome, Dale.
Thank you, Peter.
Dale, you are also, we should mention, Victorian Coach of the Year on many, about half a dozen occasions. You've coached on the PGA in the States. You're Golf Digest Coach of the Year. You've won that. I think you coached Stuart Appleby.
No, that was Banny coached Stuart up, but that was my business partner.
Okay.
But I coached Jeff Ogilvy's probably the best known.
Jeff Ogilvy, and there you got Peter Hellier on the
US
books.
Open.
Ogilvy and Hellier on the books.
Dale, have you seriously thought about this?
Well,
have you thought this through?
not properly. And I'm giving it some more thought now, but
Because there's one thing doing it
He
privately.
last the episode.
There's one thing doing it privately, but publicly is a very different thing. So I do appreciate you backing me in, Dale. And of course, I've got Dale as a coach. Lehmo, would you like to introduce your coach?
I was just going to say, if this was a golf movie, right, this would fast forward now. Dale's unbelievable CV, and then it'd just fast forward to him rocking in the corner of a sideboard, going, Hellier, no, Hellier, no.
Where's Ogilvy?
Yes. Ruined his reputation. So Dale, I have, and we've just met today. I am going to be coached by Dale's son Ryan over here. Now, Ryan, your father has a very impressive CV. Can you talk us through your CV?
Well, it's not anywhere near as good as Dale's CV.
Damn straight.
The runs on the
Yeah,
board
Dale.
are certainly there. You're backing a maiden horse here, Lehmo. So, all right. So
You know
he's
what?
untried. We're unsure of his ability, but I'm confident we can make you better.
Can I tell you, Winks was an untried horse at one
Exactly.
point, so
You're right.
let's just be clear about that. I've got a good feeling that we can make some heavy inroads here. Pete's got a lot of room to work with. Dale's potential for improvement here is huge, but I think ours is pretty strong as well. And what do you feel? What we're going to do? We're going to have a look at a couple of swings from me and Pete, and then we'll go to the respective coaches to see if there's anything obvious to start with. Okay, so let's start with Pete here. Where are you here, Pete?
This is at what was it called? Pelagia Springs, up in the Sunshine Coast, and this is a par 3. Here we go. What are you seeing, Dale? Already is just. It's not bad, is it?
Well, that's actually not too bad. It's a lot better than I anticipated, to be fair.
Well, thank you, Dale.
Good to work with.
I have it. Well,
definitely
no,
a bit- it's a bit to work with there.
You have had some input already in my, because I first
Have a look at that, though. He is actually surprised.
I thought it
he
might have
hit
been
it that well.
Well, we thought it might have been.
That's
in the
a
hole.
one-off.
We thought it might have been in the hole, to be honest. And that was exciting. So, what do you like about that swing, Dale?
What I like the fact that you weren't afraid to move. So I mean, in other words, that there was some weight transfer and movement. Whereas people generally that are shooting the scores in the handicap level you're at, sometimes from a coaching perspective, the hardest thing to do is to get people to move. They want to freeze and be very still. So the fact that you're willing to move is a real positive. The areas that we'll need to work on to create the consistency and get that handicap down.
So just
I think
one,
your goal was
just the one good thing, was it?
well, you look at the overall motion
Yeah,
of the
yep,
swing,
yep,
right? Yeah.
yep.
And then to get your goal is get down to 18.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to need to do some work on understanding how the club moves in the swing itself. Golf's a very counterintuitive game, and so you are approaching the game a bit more, say, like a logical sense, logical manner. So we've just got to get you trained up to understand how the club works correctly in the swing, to create that consistency of contact and get that handicap down from going north to 28 to heading south.
Take me south, Dale. Take me south. I need to go south. And is that done through, like, obviously there's going to be a lot of things, and we'll go through it when we get on the range together or on the course together. But is it grip? Is it stance? Is it?
It's probably, again, more about the movement of the club. So one of the most for golfers at levels that you guys are at in terms of starting where you handicap at, it's the counterintuitive nature of golf, right? So Flem background in cricket, for example, right? So most golfers will approach golf like you would cricket. In other words, you want the club or the club face moving at the target. Right.
Yep.
And that's the biggest challenge to overcome, is to get away from everything else we do. Where everything's moving at the target. You serve in tennis, you kick a ball, shoot a basketball, everything goes at the target. Whereas golf, the club goes around the body. And it's almost a ricochet effect that makes the ball propel in the direction you want. More like throwing a frisbee, if you like, that type of release. So it's really a matter of getting the golfer, and you at this point, obviously, to understand that concept, work through some drills to get the trust. Right, there'll be, and with that space too, you will find that the way you're moving the club there, as I said, the body movement was good. You'll be very, very tight in your hands and arms, trying to control the club. Right. So the other part of it is to let go of that tension. To let the old adage is letting the club do the work, but you can only let the club do the work when the club is actually functioning correctly, and that'll be the big step forward for you in that space. And you'd also find too, with how your club is moving there, that will have a negative effect on your short game as well. So you're chipping over bunkers, those sort of things. Getting out of bunkers can be a challenge because you're not utilising the golf club as it's designed to use. You utilise it more, as I said, more of a common sense approach, as you would holding a cricket bat. Where everything in cricket is pretty straightforward because you're continually pushing the bat where you want the ball to go. Well, golf's the opposite of that.
Well, that's what I remember when we had those 2 lessons a couple of years ago now. That was the first thing you said. You said you played a bit of cricket, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because I was hitting like cover drives
We're
as opposed
slicers,
to
aren't we,
think more
Dale?
tennis.
We're slicers.
Well, the interesting thing, Flem, and I mean, I love watching cricket, and the modern day cricketer, that lofted shot on the leg side, that's your golf swing. Right. So when I watch cricket now, you see some of those shots, those powerful shots for
It's over cow corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the modern day, and they play a lot more golf, so they're ingraining a cricket shot and a golf shot.
Yeah, and you can easily do
but
it.
that slog sweep over mid-wicket
Yes.
or check drive over mid-wicket is a better swing, isn't it?
Correct. That's your golf swing. So I stand there watching that and see there's a golf swing right there. Whereas the old days are through the V's, for example, which is how most people want to play golf. It's the opposite. Yeah.
And Dale, do you have rules around if people come in for a lesson and they're wearing a Collingwood Magpies top? Do you tend to send them
issue
back
there.
off the
I
range?
send them to someone else.
Yeah. I'll send them over to someone else.
Well, you'd be worried if you get paid.
Well, that's the thing. Or if your car would still be in the car park when you leave at the end.
It's this sort of stuff, isn't it? Now, what
should-
about?
yeah, let's
are
have a
we
look- let's have a
Can we
look
have
at
a look at Lehmo's swing here, please?
Can you see that, Ryan?
Yep, I can see it there.
This is at
Yarra Bend.
Yeah.
Band, yeah.
This is very. This is very early back
stiff, mate.
after. I had my appendix removed, and this is my first
excuses.
hit.
Excuses.
This is my first post-surgery hit.
How do you go
So
with,
we're battling with a little bit of injury there as well.
do you see it? Do you see it, Ryan?
Do you see the injury?
see that you're trying to steer clear of something there. You're trying to protect yourself. Same thing as what Dad was saying there, is that the way that you're moving the club is more like a cricket bat. Even if you have a look at on the way through, see the handle height? You'll notice the handle height increases on the way through as well, almost like you're trying to play that straight drive.
Yes.
So you're changing the angle that the club actually wants to work on. The club wants to work on that tilted angle, that 45, let's call it. It might be using a 7-iron and 8-iron here. You'll see how vertically it comes up and how vertically it sort of runs through. If you watch anyone on TV or any good players, the club will, as Dad was saying, will travel around the body on that 45, which means that nothing works in straight lines. Everything's working in an arcing motion.
Do you guys ever set up? I've seen some of those hilarious setups on Instagram where people will surround themselves with obstacles, so they have to swing the club, in a certain direction to get that backswing coming back in the right way.
I mean, it's hard to do on course, isn't it?
Yeah, look, generally speaking, you're far better off understanding the concept and the correct feels rather than trying to be tricked into moving the club the right way.
Because you want to get to the point, don't you, where you're not thinking through it, you're actually just feeling through it.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah.
Ryan, we should just go. So that was Lehmo when he was coming back, his first hit. I want to be fair to you, Lehmo. This is
Okay.
This is his eagle, setting up an eagle out at Riversdale.
This is my second, yes.
So he's feeling fitter
Just
now.
watch out for Pete in the background. He's out near the railroad there.
Oh no, this is on the par 4.
Oh, it's par 4. That's par 4. There's your swing there. Did that look better?
I must say from behind it looks better. You don't see where the club's going. But again, same thing as what Dad was saying with you, Pete, is that both of you are moving your body pretty well, to be fair. Like you're both comfortable moving around, which shows pretty good athleticism, but you're just never going to quite balance your body out the way that it should be moving while the club is travelling in the direction it is at the moment.
Okay, general golf question here, right? I remember at one point Tiger Woods was, I don't know, he was having like extra coaching about his swing or something, and Tiger Woods is like the greatest golfer ever. At what point does a golfer who's that good need extra coaching on his? Surely he's
We
getting
all need
everything
extra
right.
coaching, mate. Never stops, mate.
Even a friend of ours, Sam Taunton, who plays off 3, he's like decided to totally reinvent his swing, and we're like, "You're playing off 3, mate. Like, what do you?"
Well,
how could it have been that
Dad
bad?
had an interview with Tiger Woods.
Well, you've
to
got
potentially coach him.
Oh, really?
Hang on.
The interesting thing with golf is that, as I said before, is that because the game is counterintuitive constantly. So even at the highest level, the golfer is fighting his instinct all the time. So it's very easy for small faults to creep in.
Yeah.
Particularly under stress and under pressure. Right, and you would have seen it the same in cricket, Flem. It's the same sort of thing. So it's really dependent on where the golfer's at, what's concerning them under stress, or is it a particular shot that they want to get better at hitting, or that they're limited in that
shape,
space.
isn't it?
Shape, yeah. And cricket would be very, very similar with like a bowler. You might have a nice outswing. You got to work on getting the inswinger going, or
But
whatever.
can
it may
I get
be.
an off cutter? So you're always constantly. Well, interesting. Leading into, I just read Ian Baker Finch's book. Fantastic. If you like golf, watch it. And people forget. Yes, he won the Open, but he was top 10 at the Masters and a couple of other ones as well. But he felt like he was a very short hitter compared to some of the pros. So he tried to change his swing, and it didn't work at all.
Yeah, correct.
And end up getting the yips.
Yep. Yeah, totally. So, and again, you've got to be, from that coaching perspective and play, but you've got to be very, very careful when you're tinkering in that space. And we sort of know Finchy quite well. So Bandy, my business partner, he was best man at his wedding and vice versa. And when we first started the academy at Albert Park, when we coaching in Melbourne, Finchy was the head of our academy. So yeah, we sort of know that story very, very well. And yeah, you're sort of delving. And sometimes what happens too is that players, and you've seen this where players will win a major, and some people think it's out of the blue, but as you said, if you look, he was favoured amongst a lot of the players with his form leading into that Open.
I think his first Open he come third or something like that.
Yeah,
so
correct.
It's interesting. They think it's just a one-off, but
it's
it wasn't.
a progress, yeah. And so what happens is that sometimes players also think, geez, I'm a major winner now, I've got to become a better player. And they lose that fact of how good a player they are, and they think they've got to step out further. And that then becomes issue with the relationship between a coach and a player in terms of understanding where you're heading, understanding that play. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, he still gets regular coaching, right? He's coached, and he's had the same coach since he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the nature. It's the nature of the game. As I said, you're always looking for slight improvements in some area, or you're looking at avoiding what's happening under pressure, under stress. What can be breaking down in that situation? So you just come back from Darwin with that, very windy conditions. Now, some players, they're playing in the wind, like the wind out of the left, for example, right? Now, some players will really struggle with wind out of the left. So they're going to work on their game to make sure they're actually more capable when the wind's coming out of the left of actually controlling that ball flight against that breeze. So there might be some minor changes in that space. I've had, say, like Dave McKenzie, who Dave played the Champions Tour up until last year. Now, I've coached Dave since he was like 20. And he's now 50. He's my busiest client, right? So every time he comes down, he's always looking at his action. Okay, under stress, this is going on here. They have tendencies. Players will have tendencies that they fall into under pressure. So you're always constantly working on things to keep them away from those poorer tendencies.
So
When you get to those high levels, I remember seeing Phil Mickelson recently talking about it being cold and there being a dew on the grass. And he was talking about the impact that the cold air and the wet ball has on the flight path of the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you need a physics degree as well to understand all this?
Those things are interesting, but it's a lot of it is done by feel, right? And you've got, I think, a real interesting one of that tournament they played, the Phoenix Open, and that's played in winter. So when you get there for that event, it is freezing cold in the morning. It's like zero, and sometimes it's delayed because of frost on the greens. Now, it goes from freezing to perfect weather at 25 degrees by lunchtime, right? And so the guy's teeing off in the morning. The ball in that cold weather is travelling probably 2 to 3 clubs shorter than what it does.
Yeah, right.
Right, when at the warmth, the peak warmth of the day. So those players, as they're playing, and the caddies are making adjustments on the run as the air temperature is increasing and the flight of the ball is actually changing. So the club selection, which is critical, is also changing. But it's interesting how instinctive that the players become and actually make those adjustments.
And will they actually be warming up the ball?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a bit of a myth, I think, that one about the temperature of the ball. Back in the day, we used to carry one ball in your pocket, keep it warm, and then change it over. But no, I don't think I think science just sort of tells us that basically doesn't work.
Ryan, you have some work to do with Lehmo as far as his putting goes. He 3-putted a lot at Riversdale last week.
I played a game at, was it Sandhurst, where I had 50 putts?
Yeah.
I'd 50 putts.
Well, that's great. If you're playing off 23 and you've had
Well,
50
he had 36
putts,
Yeah.
points and would have had over 40 putts.
I mean,
in
that's
So
low-hanging
they're
fruit there,
actually-
Lehmo.
It'll be interesting going forward because Lehmo outdrives me.
right?
At least a club. Pete's not as far off the with the driver, so I reckon they'll be working on different types of things too, like make sure that your short game, your chipping and your putting is as good as it can be.
What Ryan, the first thing you'll do to address Lehmo's putting?
So we're going to need to set some parameters in terms of how much time have we got to practice. We'll be taking this a little bit more from like a player's perspective and things like that, small things like that. How far do your clubs go? We need to know how far your clubs go.
Yeah.
Understanding that they're going to go shorter in colder conditions. They'll go further in summer as we get closer to the warm weather. But we've got to set some things up like some drills that you can do regularly, how much time you've got to practice, how much time you've got to dedicate to this sort of stuff. Because at the moment, your full stuff and your long game is going to be a long work in progress. But if we can sharpen up that short stuff, you've got 15 shots straight away there from putting alone. So if we can just make sure that your putter face is pointing where you think it's pointing, and then just get your speed control down, because the thing that people don't realise is that speed control is the most important element of putting. From 3 meters away, even the best players in the world only make 50% of their putts. So you're going to make as many as you're going to miss.
You don't want to miss the one coming back.
Correct.
It's funny you say
Exactly
that
right.
because I played with a caddy recently. He was a caddy for 6 years on the women's circuit in Europe. And he said the exact same thing. He goes, most people get distracted by their line on a green and don't think about the speed of the
Absolutely. The
speed of the ball.
speed's everything. So you'd be better off from 3 meters away where you're thinking, I can make this. You'd almost be better off just making sure that you get that speed right, even if it doesn't go past the hole. Ideally, you'd like to have a chance to go in, but if it doesn't go past the hole and you knock the next one in, you're still tour average there from 3 meters. So anything outside of that 3 meter range is just 2-putt territory for us, Lehmo.
Because my ability to choke on a putt is next level.
It's very impressive.
Well, then we might have to talk some pre-shot routine, make sure that you've got something moving every single time we're doing it.
Also, we've got, just looking at swings, we've got a friend of the show called Tommy Lynx, who was a playing partner of old Tom Morris back in the day. He is very critical of the modern game, but if he might look reasonably familiar here, but just have a look at this swing, please.
I mean, apologies.
What did you think about that?
Apologies for wasting your time, guys.
It's got a lot of clothes on, to
Have
be
you got
fair.
anything to work with Lynxie there?
Yeah, probably take the jacket off and free things up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Jason Day went the whole suit. Cam Smith went the whole.
Yeah.
Cam Smith or
He
Jason
was
Day.
he was using Cam Smith was using that as a training aid
The blazer,
to keep
right?
his arms tighter to his body. Yeah,
But the story is there,
At the
Lynxie's
Masters, that was.
174 and he's still trying to work on his game.
Which I may be a very similar age when I get down to 18. Dale, Ryan mentioned you had an interview with Tiger Woods to potentially coach.
There was no interview. It was an interesting one. It was because I was over there coaching the stage and we're living there at the time, and I'd walked a couple of practice rounds with Tiger, and because I was coaching Arjun Atwell, who was a very good friend of Tiger. So we were walking around, and what had happened was that Mark Allen, you guys would know from SEN. So Mark started this thing that I should be coaching Tiger Woods if Tiger's form had gone down, blah, blah. So Mark's talking about this, and then someone it's interesting how things go. Then some guy that's doing a blog in the UK's picked up on this, and he's sort of blogging this sort of stuff. And then as that's going on, I'm walking a couple of practice rounds, and there was one stage when I was working back with Aaron Badley and trying to rebuild his swing again. And Tiger was chatting. It was at Sawgrass, and so Tiger's asking what I was working with Aaron, so I'm demonstrating to Tiger what we're working on in his swing. And as I'm doing that, ESPN have got the cameras rolling, and they've got the cameras rolling there.
Right.
And the guy with Getty Images, the photographer there, he's doing the same thing, right? So all of a sudden you got this stuff going around. Started with Mark here, right? That's gone to some guy in the UK, and then I'm having a chat, and so all these rumours start to go. So at that stage, we had a business in the States, and so these rumours were it was getting fairly serious to these rumours, and so
guys are coming up. I said, look, I've got no comment to make. I think, well, let's go. I've got a business going. This is really good publicity, right? And then a guy calls me, John Huggett, who was a right for Golf Digest. So, and very good friends with Jeff. And he rang me up and said, you know what I'm calling you about, don't you? I said, I'm thinking, I must be something about Jeff. I said, no. He said, Digest about to go with this story that you're going to start coaching Tiger. I said, you better stop the press because that's actually not true. This is just a rumor that's just.
And there is a rumor that you paid the ESPN cameraman. Disclose it now. How much you paid?
Less than a round with you guys.
When we're hitting balls at the range at Yarra Bend, there might be cameras around. Are you ready for the scrutiny? Are you ready for the rumours that Hallier and Lynch are together?
Yeah, I'm used to it now.
Are you ready for the reputational damage?
Yeah.
Once his handicap goes
This is
36.
This is more the concern, right?
Yeah.
Because I need to get
You
good.
need to anchor. He needs to anchor.
I need to
It's
get
going
good
up.
quick because we're playing Metropolitan in this corporate day with Dermot Brereton, and
So that's only
That might be the
3
toughest-
weeks. 3 weeks away.
that's probably the toughest course I've played.
Metro is difficult. Well, again, if the thing there is to be able to get you out. If you can get out of the bunkers, it's not that bad. I mean, I heard an earlier podcast you guys talking about playing at Royal Melbourne, right, and how difficult Royal Melbourne actually is. But the truth is that Royal Melbourne isn't a difficult course because the greens are very big, and by its design, you can actually run the ball up on most of the holes there. Metro, not necessarily, but Royal Melbourne, you can. So if you can understand how to get out of the sand, then courses like Royal Melbourne aren't that daunting, nor is Metropolitan.
Okay, I've been getting out of the sand all right, actually. But
Okay.
the bunkers might be more intimidating at Metropolitan than where I've been playing.
Well, the problem I remember when I first started, you play at Metro, is you go in from one greenside bunker to the other.
Yeah.
So if you can make sure that you're at least just getting onto the green
and
give
hitting
yourself-
it, and often
the greens are so true.
true, and they're firm, and again play within your skill set at the time. So just play to the fat part of the green all the time. You don't have to go at the flag. You just say, well, okay, I'm just getting out of the bunkers, get on the green, safe on the green, then I can just have my 2 putts from there.
See, now I'm at the stage where you say, play the fat side. I just try to move it forward.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
There's no fading, there's no drawing.
when you're in the sand or something, like when you're in a bunker
Right,
at
yes.
Metro, because as you said, that it can be quite narrow at some points, and you want to avoid going to the bunker on the other side. So you don't have to go for the flag. If you're in that bunker, you can actually just play the bunker to the fattest part of the green, the safest part of the green, and then come down that way.
So for Pete and I, when people start talking about pin position, I'm like, I'm more worried about green position. I just want to get it on the green. Now, we'll wrap it up shortly, but Ryan, you're working on another golf podcast with a mate of ours, Sam Hargraves.
Yeah, we've started Course Language, which is more your typical podcast. We're talking more about professional golf and also a little bit of an element in trying to get people better as well in terms of how you can go about working your thought process out on the golf course and but yeah, more running over the professional side of things.
And how's Sammy going?
He's going okay. He's on a quest to get down to single figures as well. He's on the way there, Sammy. He's working very, very hard, as we all are in this
And
game.
of course, the thing we love most about Sammy is he barracks for Hawthorn.
Barracks for Hawthorn.
That's right.
So we like that. And
need for that.
what
We'll cut
about
that
work-wise out at Yarra Bend? So it seems like it's just packed all the time.
it's incredibly busy. I think that the golf industry right now is in a very, very sweet spot. So if I would say that if you're in the golf industry and it isn't successful, then you're doing something seriously wrong. So it's been an amazing time post-COVID with the amount of people that have taken the game up. Across the board, like all ages, kids. They've just done a survey. More than 30% of kids are now taking the game up.
And women, the amount of women are taking up.
Women are
it's
taking
gone
up,
through the roof.
and a lot of partners, like husband, wives, boyfriend, girlfriends, so they can go away, travel together. It's just been right across the board. So, and for us, because we're running a coaching business as well. I mean, it's terrific. People come in, they come in. The upside too is that with the driving ranges now, with the technology, so you're not just hitting balls into a paddock anymore. It's telling you how far the ball's going. You can play a golf course on the on the range, all those sort of things. So a lot of people now are starting their golf on the driving ranges with the technology, and they can do it indoors as well, right? So they're actually beginning golf without the intimidation, having to stand on that first tee, never having played before. right? So that's been a big help as well. So it's like this perfect storm has actually hit with golf. But no, and the place itself is very, very busy.
Just quickly, why can't I take? Sounds like a jokey question, but it's actually sincere. Why can't I take my range form to the course?
Yeah, and that's a good question. So what happens is that on the range, you're hitting the same club off a perfectly flat lie many, many times. So you get yourself into a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
With your 7-9, whatever it may be, right? Then what happens, you get in the golf course and the first club may be your driver, and then the next one you're trying to hit a hybrid, and the next shot is a 9-9. The ball now is above your feet, or it's sitting down a bit of a hole, or sitting in the rough. Yeah, so you don't have that. It's not the sameness, right? So you will, on the range, your hand eye will allow you to get away with certain faults in the swing purely through hand eye and the repetition, whereas on the golf course, because the conditions are changing so much and your equipment, your hand eye just can't cope, so you're getting punished a lot.
So
more.
why can't I take my course form onto the range?
Do you find that?
I find that.
Yeah. Well, again, so you'll be in a situation then that when you're on the golf course, you're very target orientated in terms of where you want the ball to go. So your mind is very much involved in where you're hitting the golf ball, and possibly on the driving range, you're now thinking more about the technical aspect of it, and you're losing your timing and your rhythm. So what will happen? So your level of golf, right? So down in single figures, you'll have a lot of what you do is that you'll be feeling and seeing a shot before you actually pull the trigger. Whereas when you're on the driving range, you're probably not getting that same feel and vision of the shot beforehand, and the picture of the shot and the feel of the shot that actually controls your timing and controls your rhythm. And so when you're on the range, you're just thinking too much about the mechanics.
Oh, no, we're on the range.
Yeah.
And why can't
I know I'd rather prefer to be though.
Why can't I get my in my head dream form onto the course?
We're starting to waste time.
That's fine.
we're wrapping it up.
Ryan's going to get me there. So we're away. Okay,
We
We've
are
got our
away.
And it
teams
is
here.
called Make Me Good at Golf.
That's right.
So
and Ryan is going to make me good at golf.
And Dale.
He's going to make me good at golf.
I'm just going to say to you two boys, good friggin' luck.
You have some work ahead of you, but we're prepared to do the work.
That's right.
And we really wrap that you guys are on for our journey, and everyone at Yarra Bend who is behind us.
We love it at
Beautiful course, beautiful range, one of the best golfing facilities you can get to. So thank you guys, and also we should also mention make me a golfing legend prize.
Nice. Yep.
Drummond Golf, $1,000 voucher every month for the first year of this podcast, and we want you to just explain why you are a golfing legend, or a mate is a golfing legend.
Show us why you're a
Show
legend.
us, exactly.
Send us a video, and it could be hilarious. It could be amazing. It could be
Inspiring,
something you've
touching.
manufactured, a sketch you've made, anything. It could be you.
$1,000 can come to you.
Could be you telling a joke, whatever it is, but make it golfing related, and $1,000 voucher, courtesy of Drummond Golf, could be coming your way.
Thanks to Drummond, and that was, of course, Make Me Good at Golf. Make
Me?
Good
at
Golf. I mean, you kind of said it, and then
then you made us say
that was
it
your
again.
worst. That was your worst.
All right.
Sorry you had to say that, Dale and Ryan.
Sorry, guys.